You know, the ancient Book of Proverbs is so much more than just a collection of old sayings. It's really a practical guide to life. And today, we're diving into one of its most powerful themes, the huge difference between diligence and laziness, and how that one choice, according to Proverbs, shapes everything: our wealth, our influence, our entire destiny. All right, let's just start right here. This single line from Proverbs 10, verse 4, basically sets the stage for everything we're about to talk about. It's not a maybe, it's not a suggestion. It's laid out like a law of nature, a law of cause and effect. You've got two different ways of working, and they lead to two dramatically different places. This is the core idea we're going to unpack. So, Proverbs frames this as way more than just how you like to spend your day. It's presented as a fundamental choice between two paths in life, and each one has a very clearly marked destination. The book is pretty clear. You're on one path or the other.
On one side, we have the sluggard. His life is just defined by inaction and always wanting more. But on the other side, you've got the diligent, whose life is all about action and getting results. These are the two characters that Proverbs brings up over and over again, and we're about to get to know them really well.
Okay, first up, the sluggard. The book paints this incredibly vivid and honestly sometimes hilarious picture of this person. It's not just someone who doesn't feel like working. No, it's a whole mindset, a whole way of being. The original Hebrew word they use here is atzel, and what it describes is someone who is just fundamentally sluggish, defined by this deep, deep resistance to doing anything. We're not talking about having an off day here. This is a core character trait. And Proverbs basically gives us a checklist for their behavior. They love sleep more than anything. They are absolute masters of the excuse. They can't seem to finish what they start. And here's the kicker. They crave success, but they will not lift a finger to get it. And as we're about to see, this makes for a life that is anything but easy.
Man, you can almost hear the frustration in the voice here, can't you? The sluggard's whole motto is just 5 more minutes, a constant kicking the can down the road that, in the end, leads to disaster. This love of rest is their number one weakness.
This is where it gets funny. To get out of work, the sluggard invents the most wild, over-the-top excuses. A lion in the streets? I mean, come on. It's such a ridiculous reason to stay inside, and it just perfectly highlights a mindset that will find any excuse, no matter how crazy, to justify doing nothing. And this one brilliantly illustrates the sluggard's total lack of follow-through. The image is almost like something out of a cartoon, but the point is so sharp. He has just enough energy to start something, to get the food, but not enough to complete the most basic, simple action for himself. It's the classic starts a million things, finishes none problem. So here's the really crucial point. This life of ease is not easy at all. Proverbs uses this powerful metaphor. The sluggard's path is like trying to walk through a thorn bush. By trying to avoid the work, they end up creating a life that is so much harder and more painful than the work ever would have been. All right, now let's flip the coin. Let's talk about the other path. In total contrast to that thorny, painful path of the sluggard, Proverbs describes the way of the diligent as like a wide, open, smooth highway. The Hebrew word for diligent is karutz, and it comes from a root word that means to cut or to sharpen. Think about that. This implies someone who's not just working hard, but is also sharp, decisive, precise. They don't just work hard, they work smart. And their road to success isn't random. It's laid out as a clear process. It all starts with careful planning. Then it moves to actual, productive work. Then it involves the wisdom to know when to act, to seize the right opportunities. And all of that leads to abundance. It's a powerful, forward-moving cycle.
Now, this is a really important distinction. Diligence is not just about being busy. It's about thoughtful, planned-out action. As this proverb says, rushing into things without a plan, being hasty, is just as likely to make you poor as doing nothing at all. Good planning is the first step to profit.
And here's the ultimate payoff. Diligence makes you skilled, and skill gets you noticed. It leads to honor and influence. The person who really puts in the time and effort to master their craft isn't going to stay hidden forever. Their excellence will put them in front of the most important people. So, we've got two paths, two mindsets, and two totally different ways of life. Now, let's look at the final scorecard, the real concrete results that Proverbs says each one gets. I mean, the contrast couldn't be more clear, could it? It is a perfect mirror image. poverty versus wealth, servitude versus leadership, hunger versus satisfaction, and shame versus honor. The message from Proverbs is incredibly direct. Your approach to work pretty much determines your station in life.
But, as with everything in Proverbs, the message here goes deeper than just getting rich. This isn't just some ancient manual on how to make a quick buck.
Here's the real heart of it. Diligence isn't just a good habit. It's presented as a core part of wisdom itself. It's a moral quality. The pursuit of excellence through hard work is seen as a righteous thing to do, something that builds not just your bank account, but a life of honor, security, and integrity. And in the end, the stakes are framed in the most serious terms you can imagine. The path of the diligent is linked with the path of righteousness, which leads to life, a full, flourishing existence. The other path, the path of the sluggard, well, that leads in the exact opposite direction.
So we're left with this really powerful idea. In a world where we're always talking about luck or being in the right place at the right time or finding the next life hack, Proverbs brings it all back to this simple but challenging principle: diligence. It really forces us to ask ourselves how much of our own success or our own struggles is a direct result of the path we choose to walk every single day.